morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
We have a special guest with us today.
Be nice.
We've decided we're going to let
Great.
Steve talk for the entire show.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
go, Steve.
You guys are in big trouble then. Oh, man, I've been working my fanny off yesterday was the first day off I'd had in 10 days. So, well, let's say good morning to, huh?
Why don't you say good morning, everybody in chat? Tell us
Yeah, I see some new names. Anyway, let me start at the beginning. Rob T-Man, good morning, Rob. Ray Bertelson, Gerald Stewart, Digger, good morning, Digger. Steve Anderson, Roy Hardwick, good morning, Roy. Messy Modeler, good morning, Steve Childers. We got Mark Pruitt, good morning, Mark. Stephen Wigwag, Steve Childers, Al Marr, and JD Grandpa Rails. Good morning, John. Sparky is in the house. Good morning, Sparky. We got Canadian Locomotive Logistics, and honestly, I don't remember your name, but good morning. My buddy Chuck CDP, how are you doing, Chuck? There was somebody else in here I saw earlier. I'm still flipping through somebody. Who was it that I saw? Up there, Chris Brew. Good morning, Chris. You getting ready for Train Mountain? I know I'm not. I'm not ready yet. Who was it?
Paul something or other. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, good morning. Oh, Jason Volk. I haven't seen that one before. Good morning. David Stevens. David Stevens. I don't recognize that one. Good morning, Dave.
Yeah, that's a new one.
That's a new one.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Almar.
Well, and if you're not new, it's because we're all old and can't remember.
Yeah, and Dave Todd. There's my buddy Dave Todd, fellow engineer, Messy Modeler. Good morning, Messy. That's a good name. I like that one.
I presume Messy Modeler is not from the United States because he said "Good morning, America."
Okay. Well, aren't we all technically messy modelers?
I know I am.
Pretty much.
No, I look around my place. You can sure tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to be back, guys. Good morning. We have nothing to talk about. We were talking about handling track.
I was wrong. He's from Detroit, Michigan.
There you go. Well,
is that part of the?
He could have been from Jinx.
Is that
Jinx,
part of the United
somebody
States?
from Jinx where they live, and they say Jinx America.
I don't know. Is Detroit part of America?
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, anyway, good morning, guys. It's good to be back in the house.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, Steve.
Yeah, Dennis is doing the head bob.
I'm gonna let Steve talk.
I don't want to talk anymore. I've talked for the last hour.
See, bitches about not being able to talk, and then he said, "I don't want to talk no more."
No, I thought no, you guys were just babbling, and I was like, be here. Haven't been here for a month, and you won't let me talk.
Well, okay. Show us what you were trying to show us when you said we wouldn't let you talk. You got them sitting there with you?
Do what?
You don't even remember.
What?
The track gauges.
Oh, all these track gauges?
Yeah, show everybody all those different track gauges that your dad used.
Wow, there's so many different kinds.
That was pretty interesting, I thought, because there's some I had never seen before, and some of them look homemade.
Well, but it was all hand laid. My dad had, but anyway, there were a bunch of these little guys. I don't know if they hand machined those, but there's a bunch of those, and you get these little guys. Let's see if I can get that to focus like that, something like that.
Yeah, that's a precision.
And one like that. These are really, really old. And this one, I don't know. Claude says it's a heat sink for soldering rail.
That's what it was originally. So, well, the one I had was like that. Now, it actually wasn't metal. I'm not sure what the material was, but it was sold as a heat sink, soldering heat sink.
You know, honestly, I don't know if they bought these things or if they made them. These were my dad's.
I've never seen them before, but
This one, I have no idea what it is.
I've certainly never seen one like that before.
yeah, that's just a
And
3-point. But
yeah, but it's got these little holes and stuff.
yeah, I don't know what that's for, unless they used it to pin the gauge down so it didn't move.
I see the word rail on top. Was there something else besides rail written on it?
Oh, wait a minute. You're right. There is a bunch of stuff on there. Oh, Rail Chief. It's a patent.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's got the let's see. It's got an Indian head on it, and then it says Rail Chief.
Oh yeah, that's
Wilmer's.
pretty cool. Patent.
It's because it's Wilmer's.
Yeah.
I wonder if the holes
I wonder.
are for
Yeah.
spiking.
Yeah. I wonder if the spike
or,
goes
or
to
something
the hole.
along those lines where you could drill,
Or maybe a drill
down
bit.
through a
Yeah.
tie.
A drill
That's-
guide.
Yeah, that could be what they are.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, because you got the rail. Let's see, the rail on this side
Mm-hmm.
with a couple of holes, and then the
What it
top
looks to me
Yeah.
like.
I bet you that is what that is. It's a drill jig.
So if you so you're saying if you wanted to drill
The
your
first. Yeah.
oh wow, okay, I get it.
And,
Boy,
yeah,
that
they
would be.
drill through the ties with that.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine having to drill for every spike?
Oh, that would take a while.
Some people might want to do it. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, but he's got a-
you know. And
But I
back
mean,
in
the rest
day,
of them,
if you had,
he had a bunch of these things.
well, if you had something like yellow pine ties, can you imagine trying to push a spike into yellow pine with your,
Yeah,
pair of pliers?
and then there's
That would
this.
be tough to do.
This one's I don't know. This is it's metal. It's not ferrous. What is it? I don't know. Anyway,
That looks like
and
it's a 2-way where you could set it up on the end and gauge it too.
yeah, he's got 1, 2. There's 3 of those. This one's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
You got
You
one
do?
like that?
Yeah, I've got one of those. I'm not. It's 2 different codes on it. I don't
Oh.
like that one very well, but it does work. But I don't like it as well.
Yeah, he's got a couple of those.
ME,
But yeah,
the ME type are much easier to use.
but yeah, we were talking about all that stuff earlier. But yeah, he's got a lot of those little things. But yeah, I didn't realize what that one with the hole was. That makes sense. It's for drilling. But man, who'd want to drill every hole for a spike?
Well, and back then, I don't know that they were making commercial ties available.
No, my
Did you say
dad
your
cut them all.
Didn't they cut them all?
Yeah, my dad made every tie for that model railroad.
So
He
they
spent
and
hours.
back then, yellow pine was very common. So they could have been using yellow pine. Can you imagine trying to spike yellow pine? That would be tough. So drilling holes would make sense.
Well, no, I remember whatever. It was a really soft pine.
Maybe they use like fur or something out there.
It was. There's a special kind, and I can't remember what it was, but it's a soft fur, and there's no knots in it. But yeah, you couldn't buy ties back then. Everything was all hand laid. Every spike.
So Harley says the holes were for the feeder wires. But
Feeder.
it looks like there's
Really?
holes on both sides of the rail, which wouldn't make any sense.
Really?
They're too small. They're probably.
I bet it's for drilling the spike holes.
Yeah, it'd be too small for a feeder wire.
Lynn wants to know if you're going to be on Antique Roadshow, Steve.
Antique roadshows. Yeah, sure. I feel like
with all your gauges.
I feel like an antique.
Well, one of these days you got to go up in the attic and show us.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You need to go
No, I
up
don't.
there and show us the cabinets that your dad made for storing all
Yeah.
that stuff. I was just duly impressed with that alone.
You went up in the attic?
Yeah.
Steve, I stuck my head up in the attic. I didn't go up there.
Okay.
It's not very high in the attic. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Was
it
it?
is. Yeah, sure it is. You can walk
I
up
didn't
there.
get
You
all the
just
way
didn't
up there,
want
did I?
to. I
Yeah.
think you went up there.
There again, I'm old and I don't remember for
I
sure,
mean,
but
it's
I
just
remember the
right.
cabinets.
It's just right here. But yeah, he made these. What were they, like 3 feet by, I don't know, 18 inches and maybe 3 foot, and that's where he put all his rolling stock. And
Got
they
it all laid in there nice
and
and neat, and they all
and
fit together.
but
And
then all these little sections stacked on top of each other with little clips on the ends, and
with locks, so you could lock as many together as you wanted. So
yeah,
really
pretty
good way
cool.
to store trains.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm ever gonna
But
do with
that would
them.
have taken a while just building those.
Oh, my dad loved building stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always out there building something.
And when you guys lived back then, did you live far from the fairgrounds?
Yeah, we took horse and buggy way back then. We didn't have cars.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I was just
Wait,
curious how
what's
much
this way
time you.
back when stuff, man? It sounds like
Well, I'm just curious. Like when you were a kid growing up, did your dad always go to the train club?
always. Yeah.
So was
I
it
mean,
close?
oh, it was.
Yeah,
We lived
that's
in
all I
Livermore. It was in Pleasanton. Maybe 5 or 6, 7 miles, something
meant.
like
So it
that.
was close. So he
It,
probably
it was
went
close,
every day.
and they
Yeah,
had he went down there every Friday night, and
right.
they had their club meeting, and they worked and
Yeah.
did whatever it is they do. But yeah, and like
Uh,
we were talking in the green room, they had this massive club layout was at the fairgrounds in Pleasanton, and there was an agreement with the fairgrounds that they could have this massive building. It was out in the agricultural area that they could have it, for no cost, but they had to be open for the 2 weeks of the county fair to the public. And so we would go down there, for the 2 weeks and spend it at the fair as kids, because my dad would get passes for the fair and all the carnival rides. And so we go out all day, mess around in the fair, and we get tired. We come back and we eat and play with the trains and act like we were big shots, and then go back out. And
Was your dad one of the first, like the founding people for the club, or
yeah,
yeah?
yeah, yeah.
So
It
it was
went well.
nothing. Wow.
Yeah, and it was originally in another building, and this goes back probably way to the, I want to say into the '60s, early '60s. They had a different layout that was closer to the main entrance of the fairgrounds, and I think they ended up they had to take that building down for something. I don't remember, but so
That's really
then that's when they gave them the bigger building.
that's really a shame that they had to take that entire layout down, like the last
Yeah.
big one.
Well, yeah, I think, and this, I don't remember what year that is, but I'm sure that's probably when DCC was coming out. And I mean, this thing is all DC. I mean, you talk about a mess
Still,
of wires, but DCC, that was something my dad dreamed about.
no
You know,
doubt. Every model
what
railroader did.
oh yeah, I mean, it was all, cab switches and block switches, and you're trying to, reverse loops and trying to dink around with all that stuff. But no, he would have been in hog heaven with DCC. That's what he always dreamed about. Was being able to do something like that.
yeah, I bet.
But yeah, I think that I don't know if that fair they might have moved the layout, but I'm sure it's still down there at the fairgrounds. And I think it's the Western Pacific 060 that they just restored. Some people might know about that. I think it's the 167. Um, that's been restored and is up at the Feather River Western Pacific Museum at Portola. It was moved out of the fairgrounds. It was originally at that county fairgrounds um, for years. Because I remember when they delivered that. That was probably in the, I want to say, the early '70s, something like that. Because I've got pictures of them excuse me, bringing that into the fairgrounds on a low boy and backing it all. And that was a static display at the fairgrounds for a lot of years. And they just pulled that out of the fairgrounds within the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, took it up to the museum in Portola, and they restored it, and that thing's running up there now. So that's kind of cool.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, that was the static display for that was right outside the door of the building that they had their layout in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I'm old school, and I remember as a kid going down there and just for hours on Friday nights just spiking rail.
So Ray, you say they have an O on one side and HO on the other, and yes, it's
Yeah,
now you're
they,
talking
they
about the same club that Steve is.
I don't know, but yeah, they did. They had the HO was on one side and O gauge, and the O gauge was there were only a handful of members back then, and there was a big guy that was. I mean, the guy was massive. They called him Speedy, and he was the major O gauger on that side. He was an old SP guy, the signal maintainer that had retired, but I'm
Ray's
yeah, the
talking
one in
about the one in
Pleasanton.
Pleasanton. Okay,
Exactly,
same
Ray.
one then.
I think Ray was from California, right, Ray?
Have you thought about going to the
To the
fairgrounds and
fairground and
asking?
asking around about the layout.
Yeah, if I ever get down there, but
It's a little far.
yeah, Ray, you're right. That is the one. It's down in the fairgrounds, Alameda County. And I don't know what year they tore the layout that my dad was part of or not. Steve
Well, that's
was
kind
my
of cool.
neighbor as a kid. What do you
Didn't
mean,
know each
Ray?
other.
I was your neighbor as a kid, but didn't know him.
Because he came from the same town.
Oh, okay. Well, Ray, then if you were from Livermore, well, how old are
Or
you? What? Okay, are you my age and from Livermore?
Went to the same school and graduated a couple of years apart.
You went to Granada? Oh, shoot me a Facebook
Small
message,
world.
man. Shoot me a message,
Small
man. I
world.
want to talk. Then you remember, if you're from Livermore, you remember my dad's Christmas display.
Huh.
Yeah, like I said, my dad built all kinds of stuff, and probably his first one was probably in the very early '60s. He had a gigantic merry-go-round and a Ferris wheel, and the whole house was all decorated for Christmas. There was an airplane spinny thing, and people used to drive in front of the house all Christmas looking at the Christmas display.
so I just noticed somebody new. Steve Train Waybills.
Steve
Yeah, he's
Train.
the one that has the digital
Oh,
waybill.
he's the
Oh,
one
cool.
that
Welcome,
has
Steve.
the thing that you use.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
He
Steve,
should
you're
come
right.
on and
There are
talk
too many
about it.
Steves.
Okay. Okay. Ray graduated in '79. I graduated in '75.
Wow, you're older.
I know. I feel like it. I feel like it too.
I
Well,
mean,
if he graduated in '79, and he grew up in Livermore, then he knows my dad's Christmas display.
I thought Ray was older than you.
So, Ray, you remember that old layout down there at the fairgrounds? Then you have to. Then
Yeah.
that's
Well,
I
funny,
mean, I
man.
wasn't saying that to be smart, but I've met Ray, and Ray looks older than Steve.
You met.
Yeah, I've met Ray at the train show. Steve Waybills, you should come on the show, talk about your system.
Yeah, we should have him on as a guest sometime.
Yes. Yes, we'll have you on anytime. You can come on today if you want.
He's way older. Huh.
Well,
Yeah, come on.
Ray. Okay, if you graduated in '79, then you were a freshman when I was a senior. I'll have to go back and look at a yearbook and see if I can find you. That's funny.
I'm sure you can.
I bet I can because I've got my yearbooks. I don't throw anything away.
Did you beat him up?
I didn't beat anybody up. I got beat up.
By freshmen?
Oh, I got stuffed in a few lockers.
That's okay.
No, I only had one fight in my life, and I got my butt kicked.
That taught you, huh? Ain't worth doing.
Yeah, Steve, train way bills. Let us know if you want to come on. You can come on now if you want to. That's kind of
He said
funny.
he can blow her
As
out.
normal, we don't have anything planned to talk about. So
That's kind of
No,
crazy.
we kind of fly by the.
You know what I could do if you give me a minute? I could go in and find I know where my senior yearbook is, and I can
Go ahead,
find
go.
it.
We don't need you for a couple minutes. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy that Ray remembers all this. He went to your high school.
What part of
the world.
What part of Gray? What part of Livermore do you live on? I lived on South S Street.
That's just crazy.
Wouldn't it be weird if he was like around the corner or something?
Maybe, yeah. You never know. Yeah.
Let's see.
Chuck wants you to talk about Train Mountain, Steve, and when you're going to be there.
Who does?
Chuck.
That's all Chuck wants to talk about is Train Mountain.
Because it's close enough to go.
Well, no, we've got the Triennial coming up the third week in June.
I think that's what he's talking about.
Jack, I think Joe Rader's at the train show in Maryland today.
You better get your American ready if you're going to.
I know. I've still got 2 crosshead pumps I got to rebuild because right now I can't even run them. I mean,
you can do it this weekend. You got 3 days off.
Oh, right, yeah. But no, it won't take. I mean, if I can get it dedicated 3 or 4 hours, I can get them done.
So let me ask you this, Steve. Here's a situation. Steve, we need you to run a bus trip. Train Mountain bus trip. What's happening?
Oh, it would be Train Mountain.
Ah, so you would give up the bus trip for Train Mountain. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I've already paid for Train Mountain, so. But it's going to be interesting too because I'm driving for the YMCA this summer. So, and school's over, I think, the first week in June. Triennial's the third week in June. And the YMCA starts up in July. So I'm driving for them. So
Ray wants to know if you were a mole or a bulldog in junior high, Steve.
A mole or
a bulldog?
Virginia Drive and Carlton Square off Stanley Boulevard.
I want to know the answer to the first one.
Okay.
Were you a mole or a bulldog?
He was a bulldog.
I was a matador. That was Granada High. They were the matadors.
Not the high school, junior high.
Oh, I went to East Avenue.
What was their mascot?
Dolphins. That was, and I went to 5th Street School Elementary. I think everybody did. Were you a male bulldog in junior high?
A mole or a bulldog?
A mole.
Mole.
A mole? Oh, a mole.
Yeah.
I know where Stanley Boulevard because that's what you drove to go to Pleasanton.
I think he's asking which junior high you went to.
You told me.
East Avenue, and I went to.
He was a Dolphin.
I was a Dolphin and 5th Street School. I don't know. I think everybody went to 5th Street School. That was an old school. That was. Oh, my mom's gonna love rewatching this show.
He was a Mendenhall Moles.
Oh, the Mendenhall. Okay.
Mendenhall moles, huh? I don't know if I'd be a mole.
I never heard a mole being used as
mascot either.
So when did this show topic go from model railroads to interviewing me?
Well, when we started
You're the one to
talking about
talk,
your
man.
dad's layout, and then Ray
Okay.
remembered your
Yeah.
dad's layout,
Okay.
man.
You
Well,
wanted to talk, so now you have to
And
be
then
careful what
you,
you
okay.
ask for.
Well,
you
Ray.
started this. Where'd you
Okay.
go
Well,
to
here.
school? Where'd you grow up?
Okay. This is railroad related. Ray, when you remember when they rerouted the SP railroad through downtown Livermore to avoid the center part of town, and it went next to the WP. I've got pictures of all that from 74 with that. And I've got pictures of the old SP Depot. He probably remembers that when it got turned into a steakhouse. Let's see, that would be whatever.
He's talking about the show in general.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. And he would
yeah,
be correct.
Kind of like the malls.
yeah.
We should be the
Well,
malls.
Anderson wanted you to sing the fight song or something, I think. And you got to
Tom,
do the hand
Steve,
motion.
sing it. You got to do that. What does that mean?
Y'all had a fight song, didn't you?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know.
Probably not in junior high. I don't think the junior highs had fight songs.
Anyway, Claude, any updates on the layout?
On mine, no, I didn't get anything done this
I'll
week.
be
I was
right.
busy
I'll be right back.
Go
swatting
get your
down
earbud.
problems at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had all kinds of technical issues here at the house, so I've been doing that all week.
Okay.
Replacing smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detector stuff, and the automated pool stuff is not working, so I got to trying to get that figured out.
All right, you'll figure that
Busy
out.
day.
What's up with you, Dennis?
Not much. Just been working on my spline bridge.
How's your bridge?
Yeah, show us the bridge.
It's coming along.
You happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your last kit is just phenomenal looking.
Yeah, that kid is awesome.
Fantastic job on it.
Let me turn this around.
For those
here.
of you that don't know what I'm talking about, that's go back and find Dennis's last video on his channel.
It's kind of hard to see, but
Looks good. Just like what you were talking about.
yeah. Of course, I've got a lot to do still for it, but it can be detached right here, and then the other end attaches there. So everything from here to here can be removed, which I haven't decided. I could cut it somewhere else, create some more risers, and make it a little easier to work with on the workbench. I haven't decided yet. The next step is to kind of figure out how do I apply the plastic and whatnot to the side to get it to look like a real deck bridge.
I would think that's going to be the easy part.
Well,
I mean, it may not seem like it now, but once you get started on it, I think you'll get that figured out pretty well.
Well, the process I think will be easy enough. The difficult thing is where the bent's going to be. What is the engineering? Because I don't want it to look.
What are you showing us
isn't
here?
real. You know what I mean?
What are we seeing?
What?
What are we seeing here?
My workbench.
Huh? Looks like wires.
Well, I had to put my
And to get his camera flipped.
device back up where it goes. So I have to switch between the front cam and the back cam.
Well, I mean, I like what you're going to do with it. I would think the hard part's going to be figuring, especially if you leave those two end pieces, those tongues coming over that long. It's going to be a lot of track that's going to have to come out with that bridge and just be on that thin piece. If you where you can get it out all the time.
Yeah. Which once I get the the actual bridge part of it built, I will glue it in eventually.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just a matter of can I
You just
work
got it
on
loose
it?
for now.
Can I work on it easily, either right here or on my rollout workbench? I think it'll fit on the rollout workbench good enough. It's just, I don't know. Once I go to try and work on it, I will probably then make the decision whether I should cut it again. Because right now it's only 4 pieces of spline, the actual bridge part. I could cut it and then I could overlap a 5th and 6th with maybe a couple of holes drilled into it that I could, you know, even 10 years from now, someone could take it back out, you know. I just haven't made that decision yet.
Yeah.
You know what they'll do with it 10 years? Take a sledgehammer to it.
I was thinking Sawzall, but
Sawzall.
I haven't quite got to that part yet, but yeah, there's most of mine's going to come down with just a power drill and screw bit. So, because I put everything together, except for the plaster stuff, that's going to have to be. I don't know that it'll have to be Sawzall. I'll probably use my what do they call that?
Well, Ray, I don't
I used
find
it for
you.
cutting trim and stuff. That's what I used it for.
Reciprocating your orbital.
Or no, yeah, as an orbital, the little saw.
Yeah,
Moves back and
oscillating.
forth.
Oscillating.
Oscillating, yes, thank you.
Yeah, oscillating.
And that may be what I use on the plaster, because the plaster's not going to be hard to cut.
Yeah, it's easy to
It's
use
fairly
that.
thin. Yeah, it's fairly thin. So that's what I'll probably use, because it'll be less mess than a Sawzall would ever be.
For sure. Yeah.
And if I do a Sawzall, it will be a metal blade going through the plaster. That'll keep the mess down some too.
Did you find them, Steve?
Well, I've got the 19. Oops, sorry, everybody, I dropped you. Okay, Ray, here's the 75, and the freshman class of 77, but I don't see you in here.
Maybe he changed his name.
Yeah, maybe it was a different name.
No.
Did y'all
Are
just
you?
have one high school?
Yeah, Granada.
Okay.
Well, we had Livermore High, but he went to Granada.
He was on cross country too.
Do you, Ray? Do you remember anybody's names from there? I've got one. Let's see. I've got some freshmen signed. Laura Carter. Okay, I knew her. What's another one?
He's a short one.
Debbie Cowden. She was a freshman. I knew her. Come on, Ray. Work with me. I don't see you here.
he says he's the short one.
So was I.
Well, don't you have your names under your pictures?
Yeah, they got all the names.
Can't you find his name?
Well, all the B's. How do you spell your name? B-E-R or B-U-R?
B-E-R-T. B-E-R-T.
Closest.
Bert.
Nope, we've got
Bertelson.
Renee Berger, Cynthia Burgess, Rod Berlin, Regina Bickers. So no, see, there's only nope. You're not here.
Maybe he was absent that day.
Maybe he was.
Or maybe he didn't end up going to school there until after his freshman year.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Dave BNSF says he probably started a year after you graduated.
Maybe you got the wrong book.
No, no, it's not the wrong book. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna put that up here. Enough about me.
Yeah, because if Ray graduated in 79.
So that was the year
graduated
before.
in 75. So he wouldn't have started. He would have been in 9th grade when you graduated.
No, you were a freshman.
No. 76
If,
would have been freshman. Not 76. I'm sorry. 70. He was 79. So 78 would have been freshman
oh,
because they graduate 3 years after you do. If they're 4 years, he'd be in junior high school still. He'd be
No,
no.
no, because it says here the class is 77. So that would be, he would have been a freshman.
Oh, it's class of 77. Where'd you get a
Yeah.
class of 77 yearbook? You steal it from somebody?
No, it's mine, but the freshmen, no. Okay.
But you graduated
Uh,
in 75. Why do you have a 77 yearbook?
because I'm brain dead.
It's the
Oh.
future. It's the
Yeah.
future. It's
Okay.
okay. It's
Enough
all right.
about me. We've wasted half the show talking about me.
Like I said, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. But Ray, look me up on Facebook.
He wants to continue this nonsense.
Yeah. Well, nobody else does.
I'm having a good time.
Well, how long did you live in
What you got?
California? How long did you live in California? There.
I grew up. I was born there.
I know. When did you leave?
The first chance I could.
He doesn't remember when. He's too
At
old.
1953.
No, I moved. No, I left California in '96. So I've been up in Oregon
In
for
that
almost
same
30
area.
You
What?
stayed 30 years longer than I did.
So
Yeah, I
did
left
you
at
stay in that
66.
same area? Same area, or a different area later in life?
I grew up in Livermore. Then when I moved out, I moved to, I lived in Fairfield for a while, about 3 years. Then I lived in Vacaville until I moved up here. That was where I lived the majority of my time with the railroad was in Vacaville. Because I had to be able to work in Richmond, Pittsburgh, Antioch, and Stockton. Yeah, as an extra board engineer, and that was the place that was most centrally located, and it was an hour from everywhere, so 45 minutes, hour and 20 to Stockton, 3 hours if I got stuck for a ship in Rio Vista going up because they had a huge drawbridge there in Rio Vista, and so if you were commuting to Stockton and you got stuck for a ship, you were there forever. Yep. Let's see, Rob T-Man on
Was
75
that
to
the wrong
71.
side of the tracks, Ray?
Yeah, the wrong side.
Which one of you lived on the wrong side of the track?
That was a year before me. Okay. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, some wigwag said something about grade school or high schools. My high school was 9 to 12, not 10 to 12.
Mine was
See,
not.
my high
Well,
school,
I
mine
guess
was,
it was different everywhere.
yeah, see, when I lived in Fort Worth, we left there when I was in seventh grade, getting ready to go into eighth grade. Or, I'm sorry, eighth grade going into ninth grade. At that time, when I moved from elementary to junior high was 7, 8, 9. When
Hmm,
I moved to junior high for my seventh grade year, that's when they moved. That's when Fort Worth area moved ninth grade to high school.
okay.
Okay, so that's when it
Yeah,
changed. Then I moved to Oklahoma, and it was still 7, 8, 9 in junior high school.
yeah. See, my junior high was 2 years.
yeah.
So I went to Catholic
That's all I was
school.
in junior high, was 2
I
years.
went to Catholic school, so you went from first grade to eighth grade in Catholic school.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's because it's
Yeah.
a private school, it's
Yeah.
much smaller.
Sort of, yeah.
Well, my junior
But
high was 1970 and 71.
freshmen are still ninth grade. I mean, it's the same thing, but it just doesn't matter which school they're in. They're still
Yeah.
freshmen. But
So, I'm going through people in chat, and the newer people mostly that are in chat and looking at their channels, and I don't see too many videos on their channels. So I encourage you to post some videos of your trains.
yeah, go to the Facebook group and post anything you're working on or any pictures you want to put on there. As
Yeah,
long as it's
go
train
over to
related, we
Facebook
don't need
if you're
anything
on
else on there.
Facebook. Yeah, train model train related. No rail fanning stuff. Is that agreeable,
Yeah, I agree. There's plenty of stuff to rail fan on, places
Yeah.
to post that. But
Oh, I like it. Look at this. Let's see where I go back. Rob T-Man, he graduated in 75. Floyd Robbins, 69. Let's see who else we saw. I saw here JD, 77. Steve Childers was 76. Oh man, look at that. Ray Burwell. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Well, we've wasted the show on this.
No, I don't know about that.
Gerald Stewart, 73. Okay. See, a lot of us are all really close.
Yeah, you old
What-
folk.
what? No posting.
What
cigar
about
and
you,
bourbon
Jerry?
reviews.
What year did you graduate?
79, 80, something like that.
You don't know?
No.
He wasn't paying attention. When'd you graduate, Dennis?
88.
Oh Lord,
I'm the
you're
youngster.
the baby of the group, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Steve and I both graduated in 75, so
Chris,
it's a long time ago.
Chris Bruce says you guys are all old. He was 93.
No, he's not.
I thought you were, Chris, I thought you were older than that.
Container Man Roy, updates? Not quite, but I have a guest coming here on Tuesday,
Oh,
and he's going to help me lay some track. So John 2618 is going to come by Tuesday. He's coming up Monday to Saturday for sim work for his yearly sim certification. So
yeah, for his pilot's license.
yeah, for his pilot's thing. So he's going to come over on Tuesday, and we'll hang out. And I'm going to make him work.
Well, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
You gonna do a video with him?
yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. So hopefully something happens. Did you say earlier about a train? Yeah, there's a train show in Timonium this weekend. Timonium train show.
Timonium.
I think Wilmer and Robert Flying Crow are at the train show. Now, whether or not they went today or tomorrow, I'm not really sure. But
Well, I
I know
haven't seen Wilmer in chat today.
Yeah, no. So he's probably at
Could
the
win
train
today.
show. Yeah. Yeah, John, if you're going
Sparky says, make sure you ask if John is going to fly into Waterloo for August 22, 24. He's been
Yeah, I sent Sparky the link if he wants to come in and plug the meet and greet. I don't know if he got it or not, but I sent him the link.
If he didn't, I'll put it in the chat.
Dave Todd. You see Dave Todd.
Mark Fred thinks he's going to make me work on Tuesday, but I've got news for him.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Dave. I don't blame you.
Dave's kind of like me. If he hears the word work, he can go the other direction.
I'd sure help Mark if I live close enough. I could go over there
I
and help
would too.
occasionally. That'd be fun.
I'd be at your place all the time if I lived close enough. I'd be at Mark's place all the time if I was close enough.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to get out of here, so except for the
Yes.
box.
Yes, Bernard.
Hey, we got 15 minutes left, guys. Anybody got any questions you need to ask? Can't imagine what they'd be.
That's train related.
Doesn't have to be train related. Be preferable.
Okay, high school related.
You're not doing train related stuff.
I never do. Let me show you.
So Dudley's Hub had a question. I don't quite understand it. Can you post it? It's way back there.
I think it was more of a statement that the way I took it was, is he's just getting back into, he's getting back into the hobby and doesn't know much about it, is kind of how I took that.
Like that?
Thanks, Steve.
You like that?
You had a lot of
all that hair.
He's a damn hippie.
I got my hair cut for that. Ponytail. Yeah, my mom says, "Are you going to at least get your hair cut for your graduation picture?" It's like, okay.
So you didn't do that.
I had my hair once that long, and it was.
And now I don't.
Parents,
and now I don't have any.
That was
that was only long like that for a summer, one summer. And my parents had moved to Tulsa. I was still in Fort Worth living with my grandmother for the summer, and I let it grow out.
That was back when everybody wanted to look like Keith Partridge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. What a mess.
Steve Childers said Bellamy Brothers wrote a song about Steve, old hippie.
Hey, be nice to the old hippies.
Dennis, put your channel link in chat so that Dudley's can find your channel.
Well, I'll put. Let me see if I can find a link to our Facebook page, because
but I think he wants to check people's channels out, and
can't do it. Can't do it here, but it should be able to. I think in Facebook you can. I mean in YouTube.
Like you can't.
I think they brought that feature back.
On on YouTube you can't check people's channels out. No.
Here's that.
Yeah, you can. In YouTube you can. If you go to the link,
you can, because you're a moderator. But people in chat, people in chat can't.
Oh, okay.
Can't
You already got it up there. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm just throwing some channels up there. Go check those channels out.
Oh, you're putting several up there.
Yeah, I just threw some channels up there.
Don't mind us. We're just here for the.
Yeah, I put Grandpa Rail's channel and Steve Childers' channel.
Yeah, but you can always come to the Facebook page and ask questions. And
yeah,
you can ask questions on here.
Yeah. Did you put the
miss it on here? It's a problem.
Although
hey, Claude, can you put? I don't know if you can, but that link I sent you to that interview with Steve Brown. Can you put a link to that? Everybody would have a really good laugh with that one.
Yeah, here you go.
Let me try.
That was my first interview with Steve Brown on It's My Railroad, and it's funny.
Good check out Steve when he was popular. There you go. Claude did it too.
Well, I just copied it. Mine may not go through, but Jerry.
That might not go through. I don't know. You can try it. Let me see if it goes. Let me see if it goes through.
It should work.
Yeah, that was.
No.
That was. As I remember, pretty funny to watch.
That's a link to Back on Track. Wait a minute.
My link works, so.
Yeah. Does yours work? Yeah, mine probably.
Yeah, maybe yours works too. I don't know. I didn't click on it.
Well, we don't need both of them.
Claude's work too, so yours work too.
Yeah, hit the one Jerry put up there, and you'll get to it. Anyway.
Yeah, go join the Facebook group if you're
for those that
If you're
For
on
those that don't,
Facebook, join the Facebook group.
yes, yeah, come join the Facebook group. And for those that don't remember Steve Brown, if you've never seen his channel, he kind of started what we're doing
That
with his channel
here.
back a long time ago. And Steve was one of the original moderators for that channel. That's the other thing I was going to say. Steve's always griping about how much we talk and he doesn't get to talk. And yet he's the one that asked for all of us to be on the show.
Go figure that one out.
I just realized that he's the only one, and he asked me to be on. He asked me if we could get you guys on, and but he's forgotten that part. So,
No, I haven't. Here, you what guys want to have a laugh here? Watch this. Let's see.
but yeah, he did a show and then he kind of disappeared, and so all the moderators started this show.
So we've already done that. We had Shannon Tapia was our first one, and then Brian Jones. Excellent interviews, both of them. They both did an incredible job. And today we're going to have a new buddy of mine, Mr. Steve Arnold. And I say, Steve, I know you can hear me. I turned off your mic though, so hold on. He's back on, and
He wouldn't let you talk
Steve
either.
Arnold is live on the broadcast.
So there you go.
Man,
That's
full
the teaser.
He wasn't going to let you talk either. I love
Nope,
it.
that's the teaser. You want to have a good laugh? Go watch that one.
Yeah, no hat. What was up with that?
No hat. Yeah, go figure that one out.
Well,
I don't
it
even
was 2 years
recognize.
ago when he still had hair.
Yeah. No, I didn't have any hair then either. That was only 6 years ago, but I'm a lot grayer than I was.
Oh,
And
that's
I've
true.
I've gotten a little more gray in the last 3 years driving a flipping school bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do have to credit Steve with Steve Brown with having that show and kind of, I think he built up at least part of the
That's the
community
only
that we
reason
know now.
that's the only reason this show even exists.
Yeah,
Because Steve had the Saturday 7 a.m. slot.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he kind of slid out and left all the moderators hanging. We didn't know what to do, so we just kind of all got together, Shannon, me, and Joe G, and Marcel, and a
and
few other ones actually.
I'd have never met you, Steve, had it not been for his show.
No,
I mean,
So
I
this-
might have run across your Train Mountain video, but I didn't even know about Train Mountain until that show.
Yeah. So I guarantee this show wouldn't exist. We wouldn't know each other.
Yeah. And,
Right.
so I have to give him credit for that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But anyway, Sparky says, I feel so forgotten.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. I'm sorry, Sparky, man. Sparky was the main moderator, man, of Steve Brown.
Was he? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Oh, sure. Sorry, Sparky. Yeah, we kind of just forgot Sparky. Oh my God. Yeah, talk about the grandfather. He was the main moderator of Steve Brown.
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah,
one
but-
booting people out all the time.
But yeah, that kind of started, at least the community that I know.
Yeah.
I would have gotten into it had it not been for that. And I came to watch the show after you guys started this. I started watching this one because there again, I'd been watching Steve's show and he kind of left. And so you guys started up in this place and I just came over and started watching and
Yeah.
here I am. Stuck.
Sparky with a wrench.
Sparky with a wrench. Yeah.
Big wrench. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was like 7, 8, 9 moderators. Sparky was the moderator. Really. I mean, he was the big cheese.
Was the head, huh?
He was the head moderator. But people, it's funny because why we need a blue wrench, we never have to worry about anybody.
Yeah, but back then you could click on you could click on those 3 little dots and go to people's channels back
Yeah,
then.
it's too bad they
Not
didn't do
anymore.
that.
Yeah, they don't do it anymore. They don't let you do that anymore. Kind of
Yeah,
stinks.
that's where I got all the people. Well, I say all the people.
Yeah, that's
At
where I
least-
found a lot of
At
people.
least 2/3 of what I've got saved that I'm subscribed to, channels that I'm subscribed to, I got off of that show.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
off of YouTube when you could do that. God, that seems so long ago. It really wasn't that far back there.
Yeah, Sparky's got the right of it there. For shows like this, moderators are more about adding links and, you know, kind of doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, we've been really lucky here, and
I think we
had
one troll pop in a few months back or something that we had to.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, you're going to get it every now and then, but we haven't had a lot of that I've noticed.
So I'm a little curious, Dudley. Are you still here? Dudley's hub. How did you find us? That's kind of curious. That's kind of because I don't think he's a modder. He's a modeler. He's a 3D dude.
Here, let's see. I'll cross my fingers, Sparky. There.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how
I
he
won't
found
jinx
us.
this.
Daniel Dudley. That's his name, Daniel. Okay. Jimmy, what's up, Jimmy?
It's a new level of desperation when a troll
Yeah.
hits a train chat. You are right there, Steve.
Well, you know, most of the people that do that kind of stuff, they're doing it just to be a butthead.
That's why they call them trolls.
That's the only way they can get any kind of recognition, when they'll take whatever they can get, and that's, you know, so. But
Yeah, it's trolls just troll. They don't care what they're trolling.
they don't care what they're doing. They're just doing it to get the the attention.
And of course, Huge Jasshole has said he would be happy to make the moderators have to do their job today if he needs us to.
Well, you have to be careful how you say your name, Ray Jassel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That
There was
just says
some-
he's not a troll.
No.
No, we know you're not a troll. I checked you out.
Let's see what.
Oh, it's because their mom won't let them out of the basement. They get bored.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
This is why I like this show.
We do have a good time, don't we?
I know it's kind of late in the show, but I don't know if everybody saw all the videos from like Cado and Scale Trains about the tariffs and all. A lot of trolls in those comments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's getting into politics, and I really.
I would just as soon let all of that talk be somewhere other than in the modeling space. There's definitely places you can go to have that conversation. I understand that it does kind of deal with our hobby because obviously the bulk of what we purchase comes from some place that is going to cause problems as far as the modeling goes, but everyone's got an opinion and they're welcome to it. So I would rather talk about.
I would suggest having.
Should I use angle iron for the sides? Should I use whatever it is? Let's talk about modeling, the actual modeling.
Yeah.
So show us what you're showing.
We would if we had time.
I just as an example, you know, this is how I'm gonna create the bridge.
Are you gonna put centers between?
Yeah, I'll have. I got to figure out kind of how to. Can I actually create rivets or things like that, or if I even need to? I'm going to kind of work on that today. Some probably.
Is that bridge over troubled waters?
Yeah, they do make scale rivets. Just to let you know.
I
Yeah.
don't know that I'm that dedicated. I'm thinking about just taking something like this, if you can see it, but taking something like this, poking a hole, even though it's a recess instead of a protrusion, it should still look like a rivet from 3 feet away. I thought.
Yeah, it's a weathered thing, you know.
Well, you can also put a little dot of glue on there if it's thick enough.
I don't think I
He
could do
wants
that evenly.
Yeah.
Huge also wants us to go another hour. I don't think so.
Yeah, I got too much to do
I don't
today.
think we're going to do that. But
The wife
that's
is sitting
in fact,
out in the lawn right
our,
now, hoping somebody comes by and buys some used clothes. It ain't gonna happen.
Not in your town.
Oh yeah, I want to drive out there. We're having neighborhood one here, so it's been like Grand Central Station out front of the house.
Yeah, well, I think the whole area is having one. So if there are any other places that are having a statewide or townwide yard sale, we're going to be the last place they show up, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's our hour, guys. In fact, we're a little bit over, but
Well, we were short last week, so we owed them a minute.
oh yeah, we were short. Yeah, we were short a few seconds last week.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, everybody in
Have a
chat,
good week, everybody. Good to
have
see
a
you.
good rest of your weekend and a
Yeah.
good week. We'll be back
Good to
next
see
week.
the new people, the new folks.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see all the
Yeah.
new guys. And go
Welcome.
check out the
Come back.
Facebook page.
Come back.
And
And
Steve,
thanks for
and
putting up
Jerry,
with
and
us.
Dennis, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks
Have a
for
good
putting up
We
with
may
us.
hear from Bill again sometime. He's kind of a hit and miss right now, so
Maybe.
that's okay too. But anyway, we'll see
All
you
right,
guys
guys.
later.
See you later.
Have a good one.